Hello, welcome to Red River TV 46 News. And today we'll be interviewing Caleb Foshee.
Mhm.
Hopefully, I'm saying that right.
Yes,
Yes.
sir, very much.
And Caleb Foshee, he is running for Senate District 17 against Ron Sharpe.
Mhm.
And Caleb, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I grew up in District 17. I grew up in Jones, America, and
Wow.
born and raised. Graduated from there in '98. Went on to Oklahoma State University,
Mhm.
and graduated from there in 2003. And then I went on to work for the Air Force as a civilian.
Awesome.
My family and I moved all over the country and around the globe, and kid number 3 was born in Germany, that kind of thing. So.
Mhm.
Um, After about 10 years there, I spent a little over a year with Indian Health Service, taking care of the folks out in Arizona, New Mexico. I'm sorry, Arizona, Utah, and Nevada.
Awesome.
Spending time on the reservations, trying to make sure that those underserved folks receive the medical care that is promised to them by the government.
Mhm.
And then about 5 years ago, a little bit more, got the opportunity to come back home here to Oklahoma, and it's
Yeah.
been fun.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
the only time we've been this close to family since I graduated from college, so it's really great.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
getting plugged back in here.
Yeah, there's nothing like coming home. I
That's
could
right.
say between me and Janelle, we spent a few years, out of the state, away from family.
12.
Yeah,
A few,
and
yeah.
in the great state of Texas, and we finally got the opportunity to come home, and it's just been a blessing. It's good to be home.
Mhm.
And
So
you've got 4 children
I
as
do.
well.
I do. 4 children. My wife of 16 years, she homeschools them, and
Awesome.
she is super mom.
Yeah.
I just go to work. Yeah, that's the way that
I hear
goes.
ya.
But yeah, 11, 12,
funny.
14, and 15.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. Wow.
It's awesome.
I also want to point out, though, too, that Caleb is also a member of the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma. I do believe that is so important because I'm loving how many people, though, that are getting involved politically in Oklahoma that are Native American. I'm really enjoying that right now. I think it's so important.
Right. So, having had that experience with the Indian Health Service,
Mhm.
it came that much more clear to me that it's important that Native folks
Mhm.
stand up and take account of things.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
not just a sit back and deal with what the government gives you.
Mhm.
It's important to take a stand for what you believe in and go
Absolutely.
from there.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay, so we can go on the first question.
Okay. So, first question. Why are you running for? I know that you said that you grew up there, right, in
Yes.
District 17,
Yes.
but maybe expound a little bit more on why you want to run in that district and maybe what you hope to see change there.
So yes, grew up in 17, live in 17 obviously
Mhm.
now.
Mhm.
The big thing with 17 is, it's just far enough outside of Oklahoma City that people don't pay a whole lot of attention to it.
Yeah.
Choctaw gets a good bit of attention, and Shawnee does too. But there's a lot of spaces in between that just kind of get left out.
Yeah.
So going through the motions here, because nobody ever grows up. Well, okay. There are a few people that grow up and say, I want to be a politician.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But most normal people,
Yeah.
they don't say they want to be a
Exactly.
They
politician.
don't say that.
No.
So running for office really is a huge learning curve,
Mhm.
and learning how to get yourself plugged in, because what you think is plugged in is just your small corner.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I don't want to fall victim to that as well. It's my job to get out there and look at Luther and McLeod
Mhm.
and Hera and take a little trip over to the Oakdale area, things
Mhm.
like that.
Mhm.
But getting into District 17, I was looking at, all there is to offer here, and that, we really deserve just as much a voice as any place else in
Absolutely.
the state. And as far as the district itself goes, a lot of people, they don't know what's going on out there. We are very ag centric. We're the home of, Jones is the home of blue and gold sausage.
Yeah.
If you've ever
Yeah.
done any FFA work.
Yeah.
Luther is kind of out there on its own on the Turner Turnpike, and it's a way to give folks a voice that I grew up with.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's really why I wanted to be there. I feel like Shawnee is not the entire district.
Yeah.
It's a very important piece of the district.
Yeah.
It is the largest population center.
Yeah.
But there are other folks there as well that need just as much of a voice as Shawnee. So I want to take care of everybody out there.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So a follow up to that question would be, after this next election, saying Ron Sharpe did win, he will term out. So what do you say to people that say, why don't you just wait until there's an open seat?
Well, Theodore Roosevelt, I believe, and I'll paraphrase this, I believe, but he said, it's not worth going after unless it's hard doing.
Yeah.
That's the Oklahoma version of Theodore Roosevelt. But, it's one of those things where, yes, you can wait for a seat to open. But if you see an opportunity for improvement, whether it be in your personal life or on the state level, you should seize it and grab hold of it. And Mr. Sharp has spent 8 years with us and has represented the district, but I believe, unfortunately, he's kind of become a one-issue legislator. He's kind of become embroiled with some conflicts with some of the charter schools in the state, and I think we need to make sure that the district sees other benefits other than just this one issue.
Absolutely.
Economic development. We are outside of Oklahoma City. We do need a little help in that regard. And we have this big turnpike that's tearing up all our backyards over there, that's running from I-40 to the Turner Turnpike. A lot of people are not happy about that, which I can understand. But it's not going anywhere. So let's make the best of it. Take your lemons and make lemonade out of them.
Absolutely.
Get some economic development out there. Let's look at potentially some of the towns expanding a little so they can get a little tax base off of that. Again, we can't do anything about it, so let's do the best we can with it now.
Yeah.
Also, we are a very conservative district out there in 17. Very red. I believe it went for Trump in all of the precincts by 67%. I think it was. There might have been one precinct in Shawnee that didn't. So we are very conservative, and that's a huge thing to me because I'm a conservative.
Yeah.
I believe in parents' choice, whether it comes to how you raise your kids. But you have to step up and take that initiative.
Absolutely.
And seize that. So, it's as I've gone out and talked to folks and knocked on doors, what they're saying is they want to see the district come back a little more conservative than how we've been represented so far.
Absolutely.
And that's right in line with how I am. So let's do this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
This may be a silly question because this is a little presumptuous. It's a little too far and looking a little too far. But if elected, what is one of the first bills or issues you'd like to tackle?
Okay, so there's a few different issues. One, I would say parents' choice when it comes to whether it be education or medical issues or anything like that. Nobody knows your kid better than you. So put the power in the parents' hands.
Yeah.
Mandates don't help anybody.
Yeah.
Because then you end up with, we saw with the Affordable Care Act, all of our health insurance went just crazy.
Yeah.
Because everybody had to have it then. Well, the government gets involved and mandates things, never a good idea.
Yeah.
So whether it be education or healthcare or where you live, anything like that, let's put power back in the parents' hands.
Awesome.
So that's really where I would start.
Yeah. Okay. Absolutely.
I noticed you use the term education excellence in some of your videos and a lot of the other material. Could you expand on what that means to you?
Okay, so education excellence, obviously there's not a lot of room in a lot of places, so you have to bring it down to 2 words. But really what I'm after is education excellence through innovation. If I have 4 kids, as we talked before, none of them learn the same way. Okay.
Exactly.
One actually has a bit of dyslexia as well. So there are challenges no matter what. My first one, she's either going to be an accountant or a lawyer. My second one is my free spirit. I don't know what she's going to end up being. And then the boys, they're too young to really know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
But they're all so different.
Yeah.
So if there is a way that we can empower them to learn in a better way,
Yeah.
we should do it.
Yeah.
Whether it be public school,
Yeah.
which my sister's a public school teacher,
Mhm.
public school or charter schools or
Mhm.
online charter schools or
Yeah.
homeschool
Mhm.
like we do for
Mhm.
religious
All
purposes.
options
Mhm.
should be on the table.
All
Yeah.
options should be on the table. And that doesn't mean we're going to hamstring one,
Yeah.
to provide for the other.
Mhm.
I'm not a believer in taking money away from public education just to serve the needs of charter schools or private schools or
Mhm.
whatever.
Mhm.
We need to make sure that everybody has the tools. And as I talk to teachers, public school teachers, their main frustration is that they don't have the ability to control their classroom, or
Mm.
they're required to play referee for things that they were never signed up for.
Mhm.
And so
Interesting.
that's really where I'm going with education excellence. You have to boil it down, but it's such a broad topic
Yeah.
because we're not going to shunt anybody
Mhm.
if it's going to help a kid.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I believe that, we believe as far as, as far as children go, as you stated, all of your children are different. And I mean, that definitely applies in this family. All of our children are
Hmm.
completely different. They all learn different from each other. And so I feel like that education when it comes to children, even on the national level, is so important right now because
Hmm.
there's so many children that are falling between the cracks.
Right.
All across the education system in America. And the reason why is that, I do believe that it is an issue where you have teachers that are overloaded. I do believe that it's an issue of funding. I do believe that it's an issue, though, too, where parents sometimes don't want to be involved,
True.
anymore. So it's like a little bit
True.
of everything going on. But I do like that it's the focus on the child. Like
Right.
that. I do
It's
like that.
student-centered solutions.
Yeah.
That's what we've got to look at. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter what I think.
Yeah.
It matters how that kid's going to learn the best.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
where we're
And
after.
prepare them for their future. So
Yeah.
Okay.
that's awesome.
Productive citizens. That's
Yeah.
what we need.
Right?
Yeah,
Right?
So this isn't really a question. I guess this is a question.
Which
How
question is
can
it?
how can people support your campaign?
Well, big question there. It's all cases, and again, it's up to you.
Yeah.
We have a very good presence on Facebook. You can go and check us out there.
We
I'm
will
sure.
make sure that we plug this for you guys.
Thank you. So we do have our website. There's a contribute form on the website, but there's also a get involved link in there too.
Mhm.
If you don't have the means to or the gumption to, throw money down on a horse, me, come out and help us out, knock doors,
Yeah.
or just come meet us in a couple places. We'll
Yeah.
have different events around. We're putting together things in Luther and Hera right now as we speak. We're also looking at Shawnee and McLeod, of course, and getting out and talking to people. That's
Yeah.
been such a huge thing.
Yeah.
I have friends that say, "Oh, you're a politician now." No, I'm just running for office.
Exactly.
I don't.
Exactly.
It's one of those things. So the greatest part of this whole experience has been being on people's doorsteps and talking to them and say, "Hey, I want to represent you in the state house."
Mhm.
And they look back at me and they say, "I've never had anybody come to my door and offer to do that for me
Yeah.
Wow.
ever."
Yeah. Yeah.
And these are people that have lived in their houses for 30, 40 years.
Yeah. Wow.
So giving a
Wow.
voice to those folks
Yeah.
that are the bedrocks of our community, that pay their taxes,
Yeah.
that have sent their kids to school,
Yeah.
I'd love to do that for them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Well, we want to make sure that we plug in your information so that people can go and find out more about you and about your campaign. And we'll see what happens later on as far as the election. We want to be able to track that
Yes.
and see kind of all what transpires.
Yeah.
But we want to thank you so much for coming in
Well, thank you
and
for having me.
and talking with us. So, if you guys want to find out more about Caleb Foshee, we're going to plug up his information so that you can go and find out and see how you can get involved if you are from District 17.
Yes.
Please let us know in the comments what your thoughts are. Let us know, if you want to get involved, and we'll be able to kind of pass his information on to you. But you guys, thank you so much for joining us this segment. And till next time, y'all take care.